Hey folks, my name is Girish, the host for Back to Basics, another Back to Basics for another week. Today we are talking to an author, which I spoke with like a couple of weeks back, maybe more than that, I'm not really sure, but who cares about that because today it matters. Today's the day. We are talking about nut jobs. What type of jobs are we talking about? No, we're not talking about that. We are talking about food allergies and how we're supposed to eat, how we're not supposed to eat, and all that detail. So we'll get into that basics of that. And her name is Sonia Hunt, and we are gonna invite Sonia into this call today and enjoy this episode regarding food allergies and what it takes and what it does not take to get away from allergies. Sonia, how are you? And thanks for coming to Back to Basics.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming, first of all. And before we get into the nut jobs of the episode, what does Back to Basic mean to you?
Wow, that's a great question. There's just like so much information, so much going on in the world, and I think we're all really trying to process all of it so that we can make up our own minds on how to move forward. And one of the hardest things about that is taking all that information and really presenting it in a simple, easy to understand, basic way, back to basics. So yeah, that's something that I feel like I've done my entire career, and especially in the space that I'm in health and wellness. It's taking all of this difficult to understand information and trying to make sense of it and
Yeah.
helping people with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again, Sonia, for coming on my show, and thank you for answering that question. It seems like I ask these same questions to every guest of mine, and it seems like they come up with different perspectives, and it's great because you know what? It's as simple as that for them, for you. So thank you again for that. So we are talking about your book called Nut Jobs. So are we talking about unemployment, or are we talking about taking jobs or food allergies? How did this name come up? Because this is a amazing name, first of all.
Yeah, so it actually Nut Job is the main title, and it has a subtitle as well. It's Nut Job: How I Crushed My Food Allergies to Thrive.
Mm,
I always say that you can't take life so seriously, right? You have to have some fun, you have to let go. And in such a serious topic, which is food allergies, and I have dealt with my entire life, you have to see kind of, the fun and the light side of it as well. So I came up with that name. In my life, I've been called a nut job many times, not in any good sense of the way.
right.
I've been called, nutty. People like to make jokes when you have severe food allergies and say things like, that's nutty. That's crazy. So when I was thinking about naming the book, it just kind of, all felt right. And truly, the path of transformation that I went through is from, a very, very dark place, trauma, drama of dealing with food issues, and those issues making you sick your entire life, to complete transformation. And there's so much that goes into that, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. So nut jobs seem to really like encapsulate all of that.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Thank you again for that. And just very quickly, if you don't mind, was this your very first title that it came in your mind, or was there other ones too?
No, this is my first title, and I even hired people to tell me what the title of the book should be. And they were like, nope, that's an amazing title, and you've got it. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, okay, so let's step back a little. Um, you So what are you, first of all? Who are you? Let's talk about that. And then we'll get into the book if you don't mind. So so
Sure.
so are you a nutritionist? Are you a life coach? What are you? So let's explain that to people.
Yeah, I am a food allergy activist.
Hmm.
I'm a TEDx speaker.
Hmm.
I am a brand and marketing executive in
Hmm.
Silicon Valley. I am a health and wellness entrepreneur.
Hmm.
I am somebody who has had severe food allergies, environmental allergies, and asthma my entire life, spans 4 decades now. And I'm somebody that wrote a book and created a program called 3 to B on how I, through holistic healing, eliminated all of my food allergies. So I'm not a medical doctor, nor do I play one on TV. I, am a guide, and I actually right now am in the process of being certified as a holistic health coach as well, so that I can help people kind of in a different level, with their own health transformation.
Awesome,
So
awesome, awesome.
yeah,
Thank you again for that. So let me give you a scenario. Okay, a person who living his life, eating all the stuff that he can. Okay, at the age of 15 and 16, he realizes that he has allergies with all the fruits that you can think of: cherries, maybe peaches and pears. I mean, the list can go on. So, is it because how it's processed, or is it a certain, I don't know, the citrix on it, or what do you think it is? I mean, I think I
yeah.
have an idea what the answer is, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so first it's important, to understand that everybody's health situation is different. I have always had a severe peanut and tree nut allergy, and you could have one as well. But our health situations are so different so that they may manifest differently, right? So at its core, what we're talking about is that a food allergy is an abnormal, reaction by your immune system to food, right? And so your body's immune system may process and manifest a nut allergy different from mine. So one, it's just a very personal situation, even though there are, millions and millions of people in the United States and globally that have food allergies.
Hmm.
The second part is when you think just about the United States, today in 2021, we still don't know the exact cause of food allergies, and there is no cure for food allergies.
Hmm.
Now, that's the same as when I was 3 years old and I was first diagnosed.
Hmm.
So what that means is the Western protocol, which is all around suppressing symptoms. It's not root cause, right? There are other types of Eastern medicine that really focus on root cause, like Ayurvedic medicine from India, traditional Chinese medicine, functional medicine. But Western medicine, the protocol that someone like myself and many others with allergies would deal with is two main things. One, don't eat the foods that you're allergic to, which
Hmm.
sounds very easy, but it's not.
Right.
And two, taking Western medication to suppress symptoms.
Hmm.
So, in terms of the why, right? It's the same thing my parents asked when I was diagnosed, like, why does she have this? How do we get rid of this? There are different theories. There's a lot of data now year over year that are, worked on by medical professionals and researchers that give, validity to those theories. And, one path is for sure the Western diet, fried food, sugars, processed foods, GMOs. Think about all of that, what we're spraying on our food. So that is absolutely, a big theory on the cause of food allergies. And as we read in a ton of other, medical research, that's also the cause of many other things, right? Obesity, type 2
Yes.
diabetes, other health issues. So food allergies is kind of like packed in with all of, what I call food related disease.
Hmm.
So the Western diet is really a big, theory. Another theory is GMOs. And, think about another theory is actually the environment that we have here in the United States,
Hmm.
right? The air quality. A lot of this to do with like climate change, right? Like how we're growing our food here. And so there's actually research that states if you live in the United States for 10 years or more, that you're susceptible to allergies.
Hmm.
So all of this is very serious stuff as we are now still dealing with COVID and variants.
Hmm.
And, and everyone is still struggling with so what do I do on a daily basis, right? Like,
Right.
how do if you have severe allergies, it's a survival thing. You literally cannot put a piece of food into your mouth without thinking about it,
That's right.
because you could have a very serious reaction. You could die. Someone like myself, who's had 4 anaphylaxis incidents in her life, means that one minute I'm okay, I just had something to eat. The next minute, I'm literally, my throat is closing, I'm choking, I may have hives, I'm on my way to the ER so that they could actually help me breathe.
Yeah.
So, the exact reason we still don't know, but I think where we continue to get closer and closer as we dig into, how our fruit is grown, how we process it. Food is a huge industry in the United
Of
States,
course. Of course.
and these are really big topics that, need a lot of attention, because the number of people with food allergies in the United States now is at 85 million plus.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you again. So give me 1 second. Let me go and talk to my audience. We need to talk to the audience too at the same time.
Okay.
So guys, just keep in mind that we're not saying do not eat, let's say, I don't know, Popeyes, McDonald's, or anything like that, because you do have to indulge. But what we're trying to say is be smart of what you're doing. Because you know what? We're talking about cholesterol, we're talking about blood pressure, we're talking about obese, we're talking about many, many other items that which can harm you. So this episode is all about making you guys understand, making my audience understand, making my listeners understand that you know what? Just be educational about what you're eating and what's going into your mouth, into your body. So that's what we're talking about, and we're going to talk a little further about that with Sonia. So Anya, so let me ask you this, right? Now, there's a person, let's say, okay, let me start again. There's a bread, let's say, in the US, a white bread, okay? That same brand, if I go, let's say, in UK or any other countries, I have noticed that the reactions are a little different. Why is that?
Well, country by country, again, like the ingredients are different, right? So I would say if that bread is produced the bread that's sold in the United States, if it's produced in the United States, might have ingredients grown in the United States completely different than same brand, but now growing and producing ingredients in a whole different country. Your soil is different, they have different farming methods, etc. So you're talking about 2 different scenarios, even though it might be the same brand. Now, if you're taking stuff from here and shipping it over there, right, at a great cost, that's a different
That's a
story
different
as
story,
well.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so another scenario. I have seen a bunch of people in these last 40 to 5 decades of everyone's life here. I have noticed that people are getting more into the gluten free aspect of dieting and nutrition. Is it because the climate has kind of changed or the processing has changed? I mean, now we talked about fruit already. Now we're talking the other aspect of vegetables and everything else, right? So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, gluten-free, when it really hit kind of mainstream in the United States, I think still today people are not quite sure what, if they have issues with gluten or not,
Hmm.
right? So think about it this way. You have this one vessel, right? Your body, your mind, and that's the vessel we get during the time that you spend on this earth.
Hmm.
Shouldn't you want to take the best possible care of it, to keep it in optimal shape, because hopefully you're going to live a very long life
Hmm.
and you want to enjoy all the experiences in life.
Hmm.
So what you put into your body and onto your body is equally as important.
Hmm.
And, we have a culture of fad diets,
Hmm.
and it's blanketed across everybody, right? And we talked about earlier that health is so personal, right? You and I may have a peanut allergy, but our situations would still be different, right? It depends on genetic predispositions. It depends on my own, current health
Of
situation,
course.
and same for you.
Yeah.
So when the gluten-free craze kind of came out, a lot of people, without really partnering with physicians, understanding if they're affected or what is, say, root cause of, I feel bloated every time I eat pasta, or I love bread, but afterward it makes me feel this way, or I have digestive issues. So, I would challenge and say, aren't you worth it to go and actually spend the time and figure out what's going on in your body rather than just eliminating all this wonderful food that we have,
Mm,
in the world. It's not about eliminating more and more and more. It's really about balance and finding like the foods that are right for your body digestively, health-wise, whatever your health goals are. And gluten actually may not be the issue. It could be some other
that's right.
underlying issue that's even more larger, right?
Yes.
So I think that, my advice here is, again, it's really important to find out kind of like what's going on, right? The root cause. And it's a great idea. A lot of people do journaling. I do it with my food as well. It's like, I ate this, it had this reaction. I did it a second time, same, did it a third time. And then I'm actually having a conversation, right? And I'm saying, okay, I've been eating a ton of pasta and bread and I'm having digestive issues. Should we, test to see if I have gluten intolerance, gluten allergy, because it's really difficult to eat outside at restaurants, I believe, with a true celiac disease.
That's right.
I have friends with true celiac disease. It is, it can be crippling when you're eating out. Eating in your own home is different. You can control everything.
Mm,
So, yeah, it's really important that you figure out like what's best for you. And if gluten is one of those things that you absolutely need to eliminate, or, if you do testing and you find out that, okay, you don't have celiac or, gluten intolerance or anything, but still sometimes it makes you feel not so good when you eat it, then sure,
of course.
just don't eat it all the time, right?
Yeah, so thank you again for that because what I have taken away from that is instead of eliminating saying I don't want to eat, let's say hypothetically pasta, Alfredo sauce or whatever, you got to figure out what's inside that food instead of saying I don't want to eat a pasta with Alfredo sauce. So you
Yeah.
are correct because people they do say that okay, I'm not going to eat this dish because the reaction is this. I think they should take certain things out of there. I mean, that's a bad
Yeah.
example, but you understand what I'm saying. It's
Hmm.
better to understand what's in the ingredient, what's in the recipe. So thank you again for that.
Hmm.
So now the book, the net jobs, okay, or nut job. Was there several people that you interviewed in order to get this, or was there a certain investigation that you put into this book? Explain the process of this whole journey of yours.
Yeah, well, I mean, this book is a narrative nonfiction, and it goes through the story of my life dealing with severe food allergies, environmental allergies, asthma since I was a very, young girl, age of 3. And really, it's the story of also my family from India. My siblings and I are first generation Indian American, and just how we dealt with all of that as a family. If you think about 10, 20, 30 years ago, we were not talking about food allergies the way they come up all the time today. So the book goes into that storyline and just how we dealt with that as a family. But it also mainly begins at in 2008, my fourth anaphylaxis incident, which had me almost dead on the emergency room table. And that was when that truly was my rock bottom. And I felt like, if I was able to leave the emergency room that day, that I would just change everything in my health, in my life, because I was just defeated on, I thought I was managing my allergies well, but here I am again, almost dead on the emergency room table. And when I made that kind of pact with the universe, as if, somebody was going to make sure that I would come true, I ended up, so during that anaphylaxis incident, I had hives all over my body. when I left the emergency room table, those hives actually didn't go away for 1 year of my life. So for like a full 1 year, I had huge, huge red welts all over from my scalp all the way to my toes that didn't go away. And, I was really desperate to figure out, like, get down to that root cause. Like, why is this happening? Why is it happening over and over? And how do I get rid of all of this so that I could age healthily? And I ended up developing a program. I created a program called 3 to B, and that is a holistic health and well-being program to heal food allergies. My North Star at that time that I created was aging healthily while eliminating my food allergies. And over the last 10 years, so all of my life, I've been working with physicians. They've kind of been like, really strong support system for me, and some became very good friends over the years. Over the last 10 years in particular, I've added more physicians, but physicians who are MDs that study Ayurvedic medicine, that study traditional Chinese medicine, that study functional medicine, along with my allergist and primary care doctor. And what this group of people and I did was we kind of took my North Star and said, this is what I'm trying to achieve with my health. How do we get to the root cause to find out why this is all happening? And now how do we get healthy? So basically for 4 decades, I've been doing this with physicians. And so the book actually goes into this program, and it's a 3x3 step program. And it details out everything I did and how somebody could get started with what I call micro steps, which are very small steps every day, to start healing mind, body, spirit, emotions, because your health and your well-being is wrapped up in all of it. For a very long time, when you're dealing with food allergies, we only dealt with the physical side.
Right.
But when you are on the ER table almost dead, many times it's a lot of mental and emotional trauma that goes on there, and drama. So working through holistically those 4 areas and creating steps, testing those steps over a decade, which is what I did with all of these medical partners, is exactly what's in the book. So this book was really a long time coming for me. I've had a brand in the food allergy space for a little over a decade now. And, I have a TED Talk from 2015 about this as well. And so the book was really like a culmination of everything that I did to really transform my health and my well-being. And I felt like it was absolutely my duty to share that with everybody who struggles.
Yeah, absolutely. Sonia, I if you don't mind, I want to read something from your website, if you don't mind. It will be 2 points out of there, which kind of
Sure.
got me. And I want people to understand to go to your website and start reading it, because you put so much information in here. It's unbelievable. And people, they do have food allergies or any diseases or something. They'll be like, okay, I have it, instead of you acting on it. So I just wanted to say some few things, if you don't mind. So guys, on that website, if you go to, soniahunt.com, right, there's a section in there. It says, every 3 minutes, a food allergy reacts and sends everyone to the emergency room. Each year in the United States, 200K people require emergency medical care for allergic reaction to foods. About 40% of children with food allergies are allergic to more than one food. And I can just go on and on. So it seems like you must have gone through a whole bunch of reports from the allergy research organization to get that. So I commend you for that. I would definitely love to go and read your book. It seems like it's very, very educational. I'm looking at your website. There are some few recipes which I think I want to grab and digest whatever I can. If I don't have any allergies, I'll let you know. But
And there are definitely more recipes coming. Yeah, again, this is about, you know, enjoying the time we have on this earth and really thriving, right? And your vessel and what you put into your body, what you put on your body, products, right? it's so important to be conscious of what all of that is, so that you're not spending time as you age getting more sick, taking a bunch of pills that cause a whole bunch of other issues, right? For everyone in the food allergy community, including myself, it's a dream come true to happen, like to have what happened to me, which was I eliminated all of my food allergies.
Hmm.
And it took a decade, but I was incredibly focused on the goals and living my life by these themes of, holistic health and well-being. And I had no idea that that was going to happen. My doctors and I were incredibly shocked when we found out those test results in 2020. But I'm living proof that I come from a huge foodie family. I'm a huge foodie. I've traveled all over the world. And I'm living proof that you can truly thrive in life, even with these issues. It's just about figuring out how. And, again, it's everything in balance. And so my platform truly is about, bringing people together to really understand, it's championing multicultural healing for food allergies through community, through conversation, and through products like my book and other products that we're going to launch in the new year.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you again, Sonia, for being here. So before you leave today, just want to ask you a quick question. Is
Yeah.
food allergy the biggest thing in the world right now? What do you think for the next 5 more years for you? Because it seems like you have done so much already for those 10 decades and researching to get away from this food allergy. What do you think for the next 5 more years for you?
Yeah, it's definitely my mission is really it's championing multicultural healing, for food allergies. And what that means is, even within communities of color, the South Asian community, the Asian community, the Hispanic community, the Black community, the rates of food related disease are just skyrocketing.
Hmm.
We don't have a lot of data at all about certain communities of color and the rates of food allergies. I think we need to get that data through research. My mission itself is creating that community, is creating those products, the workshops, the books, going out and speaking, sharing the story. But through these products, it's to actually help do the work with people. It's the biggest thing I find that people struggle with. It's like, I think I have a food allergy. I'm not sure. I don't know where to start. That person needs, a friend like me to say, okay, guess what? We're actually going to figure this out together.
Hmm.
And here are the steps, as I've outlined in my book, and let's do them together. So, this is something as the data continues to rise, in the food allergy world of 85 million plus people in the United States having food allergies. It's pretty serious, and I really want people to get to the core of what's happening that's not making them feel good, so that they actually take care of it, right? Because nobody likes to feel you know not good
That's
every
right.
day, or have digestive issues, right? It takes over everything, your work life, your personal life. So yeah, that's what my platform is all about, and I'm really excited about continuing to build this out over the next decade.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And then one last thing, if you don't mind. I know I said it last before, but one last thing. You've been here so many years. You have a book. You went to TED Talks, and you have so much to go. And then you ended up in Back to Basics. Do you have any last words for Back to Basics before you leave today?
um I would say, again, this is really about helping each other. We're to say we're in unprecedented times is like, it's not even as drastic of a statement as what's going on in the world today. And it's never been more important to take care of yourself. It's never been more important to help others and share, knowledge, share research, that has been done by medical professionals. So I think it's, if you're struggling and you're out there, You can always reach out to me. I read every single email that I get. I do respond. And, if you're just not sure to start, that's why there are people out there like myself who are building these tools so that, you can get healthy. So you do have a friend in me for sure. And all of the other listeners for Back to Basics and yourself as well. I think, you've built an amazing platform to allow people like myself to get their story out. So thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Thank you again, Sonia, for coming here and making this brighter. And thank you again, and God bless. And hopefully, we'll connect each other again for another Back to Basic moment.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much. So, guys, today we spoke with Sonia Hunt today, and we talked about the basics of food allergies. Now, what did she say? That if you get food on your table, do you say, no, I'm not going to eat it? No. You're going to go and research and say what's in that food. When you go to a store, take a look at the ingredients. What's in there? What you want to eliminate out of that? That's what we're trying to say. Start learning, start reading, start understanding what your body says, what your body does not say. I mean, those are the things that we're trying to say here. As usual, as always, there is a quote for the day by Back to Basics, and here's a quote of the day. About 20% of the population believes themselves to have food allergies, and only about 5% actually do. So guys, as usual, as always, what do we always say in Back to Basics? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless. Keep on commenting as much as you can on all my episodes. And if it is good, bad, ugly, either way, it'll make my show stronger, day by day, week by week. And there's 3 things this show is so popular because of you guys, is the content, the guest, and third of all, of course, the host. Guys, take care, God bless, and I'll see you next week. Next week's episode on Back to Basics. I think the way you're saying it is, I think we need to standardize certain names throughout the nation, around the world, that it needs to be the same. Like, tofu should be tofu, or chicken should be chicken, or nut allergies will be, what does nut allergy mean? And you spell it out. Is that what you're trying to say? We need to spell it out?
Well, there is labeling today, but it's still very confusing. So we need to get much better with standardization of the labeling. That's really what it is. And this is all about transparency, again, from like, where is the food grown to how is it manipulated to come into this product? And then we have to be very transparent about all of that on a label so that someone like myself can say, okay, now I easily understand this. And yes, I can eat this product.
Yeah. So I think we need the health department to come down to the restaurant saying that we need to standardize this, basically.
Well, it's the food companies, really. It's in the United States, the food industry is for profit, and it's all the food companies. And because for the chefs in the restaurants, once that is all done, then they can actually as well understand. And when they are writing menus, they can